a preacher? Why do we need a priest? I mean, Jesus said to call no man father. So why do we call priests fathers? Why do we call our founders fathers? You know what I mean? But we call our dads dads.
Or father. I mean, I call my dad my father occasionally. So
it's more. I mean, it just makes
it's something that's taught, right? I mean, this is something from our very beginning.
Yeah, I mean that's how they train animals too, man. I mean, that's how you get a dog while he's a puppy, and he trains a whole lot better than an older dog. But see, right now we are living in a change, and it's not going to be a good change. It's going to be an abrupt change, because we've been born free, and they're going to take away freedoms more and more, and people can say whatever they want, man. They're going to want to put a microchip in your hand, and I don't care if it's the mark of the beast or not. It sounds too much like Revelations 13:6 or 16 or something like that.
See, here's where me and you go, like, you're going right and I'm going left, and it's not out of disrespect; it's just out of curiosity. You do believe that. You truly do believe that we're all going to be chipped one day, kind of like they're doing with the animals, to keep a track where we are, what we're doing. Now, do you believe that from a government standpoint, or do you believe that from a religious standpoint? Where does that ideology come from?
From all around, man. I mean, they are microchipping people. Like, all the head of the Mexican government has been microchipped. All the military men are being microchipped.
Is that for tracking, you believe?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. I mean, that's part of it. Right now, they have a microchip that'll help you lose weight. They'll give a older person with Alzheimer's, so if you lose them, or if they wander off, you can find them. And that's how they'll strike. They'll strike to the heart first.
They started this with animals.
Yeah, exactly.
They started this with my dog. I remember 15 years ago.
Oh,
we bought this really, really, really expensive dog, and they told us, well, the dog has a chip in the back of its neck. So if the dog gets lost, they could do a scan, and they'll scan the back of the dog's neck, and it'll come up with your address and everything, because they put everything in the computer. So they knew they would find out exactly where the dog is going to go to. So you believe that this is kind of what is going to be encoded into people, or it has started?
Yeah, exactly, because it says in the Bible, it says that he will cause all, both great and small, rich and poor, to receive a mark. And you won't be able to buy or sell unless you have that mark.
So it's not a tattoo?
No.
You don't believe it to be a tattoo? Because that would be a mark as well.
They have tattoo microchips too. Google made a rub-on tattoo that it's a tracking. It's the same thing as the little grain of rice microchip, but they laid it out in like a tattoo where you just stick it on, and it like has adhesive on it, and it sticks.
That's wild.
You can make it where you couldn't even see the computer components, and you can look this up, man. I mean, you don't have to believe me. Look it up.
No, I'm being fair.
They even got a pill. They have a pill that you can swallow, and it when it gets down in the acid of your stomach, it has a little on and off button on it that it'll flick on, and then your hands can turn on like stuff in like an office building. Like you'll walk down and the lights will turn on because you are the whole chip.
Now, does that sound too futuristic to you at all? I mean, does that sound like it's even? Have people ever called you crazy?
It's 2014.
For saying that.
There's the people that own Google they're on YouTube on a Google Hangout talking about it, and these people were up on stage at a Google press conference. You know what I mean? Talking to like the major networks.
About this particular subject?
About everything I've just said to you right now.
Wow.
And they show the pill, and it's a pill you can take, and it says, I will be I'll be the supreme power of my universe. Like everything I will control everything. Because
So is this a power trip for the government, a control trip? What do you believe it is?
Total control.
Total control.
If you say something,
world domination.
They'll shut your chip off. You know what I mean? You won't be able to buy, eat, and Christians won't take it. I mean, that's Christians will not take it. So, what would you rather do? Would you rather take it or feed your kids?
So let me ask you this, because this is a fair question, because a lot of people who are going to listen to this podcast later are going to say, that sounds crazy. Is one man nuts? I'm just saying that I know that people will say that. I don't think that. I think it's very interesting, and I believe we're like you said, we're in 2014, and some of this stuff is absolutely amazing that's going on right now. So I don't think you're too far from it being a reality. So when people call you crazy, what will you say to them?
Look it up for yourself. It's out there. I mean, most people don't look at every news report. You know what I mean? There's stuff of the total knowledge out there. Would you say you know 50% of it?
I don't think I know that much.
Well, yeah. I mean, most people would say at least that. Well, in that other 50% that you've never heard about, there's what you need to be watching. You know what I mean? If someone tells you something, at least look at it. You know what I mean?
But see, but I have a very difficult time with going to the internet for anything of substance or anything that's real. You know what I mean? I have a very difficult time with trusting anything that I see on a website or Google or any of these places, because there are so many conspiracy theorists and there's people out there that just want to make a buck of saying something that's completely outlandish or something that's completely frightening because they know that it's going to get attention.
Yeah, there is. Exactly. I mean, there exactly is. I mean, that's why evil gets away with it, because it's so polluted, because everybody's out to make money. Everybody's out to either sell a book or get ad revenue on their YouTube channel, and everything is something to talk about.
Right.
But
I agree with you.
But I mean, I sometimes say stuff, but I mean, you know that I'm driving this home, man. This is something that needs to be told to everybody, and it is out there, because like right now there was a major report that they're building cities inside government,
like compounds.
Yeah, in a government compound, they're building towns that looks like American towns with Christian churches in them, and they're calling them mosques, but they look like a Christian church.
Wow.
And that there's like, they have their own train station at the little town. They have their own schools. They have their own, you know what I mean, everything that looks like a little town. And that's what these people do. They train and train and train and train for exactly what they're going to go do. Before we went to Iraq or over in the deserts, we went to our deserts and trained and trained and trained. And it has to happen. Like, when Hitler took over, Hitler wasn't first in command. Hitler, until he totally took over, he was second in command. You know what I mean? That's how Obama is. He's second in command. He's the president of the United States, but he has to answer to, that's why we have executive, judicial, and legislative branches.
Right.
But see, he's already written more presidential orders than the past 4 or 5 presidents
combined.
Combined. And all he has to do is martial law, and then he has full dictatorship power. And that's all he needs. And that's just one step, just like Hitler.
So, do you believe that the American public would let that happen? Now we're not talking about Germany. We're certainly not talking about Nazi Germany, where it was completely controlled and everybody was mind fucked. We're talking about the United States, which is becoming completely mind effed.
We are mind fucked. We are,
but we're nowhere. I mean, not even relatively close to what Nazi Germany was.
It's
where there was no food, they had nothing. I mean, they were living from loaf of bread to loaf of bread.
Like around where I live, I wouldn't even know there was racism out there if I wouldn't watch TV, or I wouldn't listen to the radio or something. Because we don't treat everybody like that around here. You know what I mean? And that's how Bundy was. That's why he called them Negroes, around there, that's Spanish for black. Negro is Spanish for black. If you look on the back of a receptacle, any electrical receptacle, the black wire says black and Negro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And where he lives, everybody talks that way because they're either Spanish or English. And you know what I mean? You don't. There is racism. It's bad out there. In certain places, but see, they make it out to be like it's everywhere. Because
I believe it is everywhere. I mean, I don't know where you stand on that one.
Racism
so runs the gamut.
We are all racist to a point, but like, I think the younger generation's killing it. I think people around here, you know what I mean. I know there's other places where people just everybody gets along, but it's like there's some places where they're still in like the 70s. Like that black dude that's the son of a man, he's still stuck in the olden days.
Now, do you know? Let's touch on this guy for a second. Do you believe that is he making money off of this? Does he have another venture other than just doing this?
All right, he's making
podcast?
money. He's making money, but it looks like he's building schools for these people.
Okay,
which is crazy, because I mean that's something good. You know what I mean? But see, somebody that lures you in, they're going to lure you in with candy and sweets and stuff that sounds good. You know what I mean? Like the healthcare bill. You know what I mean? We need that. We need affordable healthcare.
Absolutely.
Okay, but why does healthcare cost so much in the first place? You know what I mean? Back in the day, the churches took care of people that needed healthcare. The doctors had to do pro bono work, where they had to do so much work that was like free or at a half discount or something like that. And that's how people, it's still kind of like that.
They used to barter. They used to barter for their wares and goods, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but
it's a different time.
It's just like you say, you can't make somebody be a certain way, believe in a certain thing. Just like you shouldn't be able to make somebody pay for somebody else's health care. They should do it themselves. They should have to come up out of their own pockets and go. There's people that help. There's people that donate to charities that help with people's bills like that. That's something they don't talk about in this country. There's a reason why all these other countries come here for major like surgeries. Like all their presidents and all their leaders of their countries come to our country. Well, after all this stuff clicks in, it won't be that way. You'll be waiting to see a doctor, 6 weeks. Just like, just like the post office. You'll be waiting in line somewhere. You won't be able to make an appointment. Yeah. It's
Now, Canada adopted a similar program that I believe that Obama actually, for a lack of a better term, kind of ripped off. Because Canada has provided health care for all of its residents, regardless of race, creed, or color. And it worked very, very well and continues to this day.
But have you ever seen Fahrenheit 9/11?
Yes.
That's where that guy goes up there and you can get pain pills and you can get like aspirin, but like surgeries, you have to wait endlessly until it's too late sometimes.
Yeah.
And a lot of Canadians come over here. They have for certain types of like pain pills and they got that.
Their medicine is like a third of what we pay. It's like a third.
Yeah. But I've heard people that get medicine there. They live here but they get medicine there.
Absolutely. I know of a couple of people that do as well.
And
because their medication's like $1,700 a month or $300.
But when it comes to like heart transplant, you're dead.
Well, you got to come to America.
But we've adopted their health care, so after that, it won't be that way.
I think we adopted the ideals of it that worked. That's at least my perspective. I don't see Obama as this horrible, and here's where we're going to differ, horrible individual. And I don't see him as satanic. I really just can't. I don't know why.
I think he's smart. I think he's very intelligent. I think he's did everything he's wanted to do. But I
think he's a human who's made a lot of mistakes.
I've seen him for what he is. And I don't think he's made any really mistakes. It's mistakes. It's deep mistakes in life, but not mistakes that he's wanted to do. You know what I mean?
2013, even he said he would have deleted if it was on his computer.